Welcome to the Week 10 Injury Report. I am Big Italy 42 here talking about some key injuries courtesy of at Zach Scott Moxie. And once again, Ben Roethlisberger finds his way onto the injury report. A midfoot sprain. He was finally back for a game and a half. Now a foot injury. Fortunately, nothing serious like the knee last time. And he looked great. 334 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Raiders for the injury. Granted, that's about as easy of a matchup as you'll get. But coming back now, coming off a foot injury, a knee injury, expected to miss at least one game, maybe 2 games here. Landry Jones stepping back in. He's going to be facing off against the Browns, who are ranked 21st in the league in pass defense. So, nice cheap option for you there. Probably more of a GPP option. Not a guy that I'll be looking at in cash games very much, but it is a good matchup for him against the Browns. So, certainly a guy with some upside for cheap. Dion Lewis injured his ACL. It was thought originally, or at least speculated, that maybe it wasn't going to be a serious injury. Instead, Dion Lewis, torn ACL, now out for the season. So big blow to the Patriots. But the Patriots have a knack for taking players that no one else wanted or that were irrelevant, days, weeks, months, years prior, and turning them into stars. And that's essentially what Dion Lewis had become. So I have no doubt that they'll be able to use LeGarrette Blount to control that running game as usual. James White, Brandon Bolden, whoever ends up stepping up, probably James White into that role. I don't quite expect him to be Dion Lewis and take over exactly what Dion Lewis is doing, because Dion Lewis is, quite frankly, just a more talented player. But for a cheap option in your GPPs, you could definitely give him a look. And it seems to me that LeGarrette Blount is going to still see the bulk of the carries, and that we're maybe going to see a couple extra targets go Edelman, Gronkowski's way to make up for him in the passing game. But remains to be seen. We've seen this before with the Patriots. It's really hard to predict what the backfield production is going to look like. Next up, Teddy Bridgewater. Concussions. A concussion. Got hit hard. I mean, he was knocked out on the field. Supposedly doing better as of Sunday night. Remains to be seen if he's going to clear concussion protocol for the Raiders game. But if not, Sean Hill, one of the better backups we've seen over the last 5, 6, 7 years, really. Been around for 14 years, and he'll be facing off against a Raiders team that allows the most passing yards per game. But there's just not a whole lot of upside with a guy like this. But he does have Stephon Diggs and some other guys, but it just hasn't been a consistent passing game. I would imagine that Stephon Diggs is going to be pretty popular either way. Sean Hill just going to be a GPP play once again, because this is not a very potent passing attack. Next up, Latavius Murray. Concussion once again. He was on his way to another 100-yard game. Got to 96 on 17 carries. And it looks like Taiwan Jones and company will be the benefactors here. But really, more likely that we'll see Derek Carr throwing the ball a little bit more. Taiwan Jones, the guy who's had his opportunities before, really hasn't panned out as a very good runner. So as far as an every down workload, you don't really expect that from him. Probably running back by committee. So this is kind of a situation I'll likely be staying away from outside of the passing game with Derek Carr. LeSean McCoy, next up, injured once again, and this time it's a shoulder injury. Looked like he was fine from the hamstring injury. Had 112 yards and just 17 carries and a touchdown. But he says he'll be able to play. We'll see. Carlos Williams stepped right in, as he did before. 110 yards and 2 scores, only 9 carries. And Carlos Williams has been great. So this, however, is a really tough matchup against the Jets on Thursday night. So not a lot of turnaround time for LeSean McCoy to get healthy. So you got to imagine it will probably be Carlos Williams. But even then, it is a very tough matchup, so you're not going to feel great about it. Eddie Lacy, once again, continued to disappoint. Left the game early with a groin injury. Wasn't doing much anyway. 10 yards on 5 carries and a fumble. Could end up being a good thing for the Packers. They won't have to worry about making this decision, and they can roll with James Starks against the Lions. One of the worst, if not the worst, run defense in all of football, 30th ranked in the league. And, Starks has just looked like a better runner this year. Lacy has not looked good, so don't have to worry about deciding who's going to get the carries here. Packers, huge Vegas team total there. So James Starks is going to be a nice value play there, assuming that Eddie Lacy sits out. Nick Folk, yes, a kicker, especially on Monday, Thursday contests, if you're in any of those. Injured himself in the opening kickoff, was not able to kick afterward, had 0 points. Jets scored 4 touchdowns, and went for it anyway on a 4th down at the 25. So if Nick Folk, maybe they would have tried the field goal, but they didn't have a field goal kicker then. So we'll see if Folk can go Thursday night. It doesn't look like he will. So you're going to have to bring someone in to kick on Thursday night. If you already locked in your Monday-Thursday contest, that's unfortunate because you won't be able to use. Or if you had Nick Folk, you're going to get a 0 from him, more than likely. If not, look and see who the Jets pick up. It's not going to be likely that player will be in the pool, though, for the Thursday, Sunday, or the Thursday through Monday contest. But either way, that wraps things up for the injuries this week. Find us on Twitter at DF Cafe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out the rest of our great content at dailyfantasycafe.com.